Today we're going to prepare and can some of Barb's salsa. Frank loves Barb's salsa. What we need is 12 cups of peeled and chopped tomatoes, 24 jalapenos seeded and chopped, or you can just chop up 12 unseeded jalapenos. It all depends on how hot you like it. 4 cups chopped onions, 4 to 6 garlic cloves chopped, 1/4 cup of salt, 1/2 cup cornstarch, 1 1/2 cups of vinegar. This is how I like to peel my tomatoes. A lot of people will put them in boiling water and peel them. I like the extra added smokiness of doing it on the barbecue. Really all you do is leave them on the barbecue until you see their skins crack. Then you can pull them off and the skin comes right off at that point. Alright, just keep turning. Keep them turning until it looks like they're equally done on all sides. You can see that one's got a split. And probably peel very easily. I just keep moving them around, and that one looks like it's done. You can see it's all wrinkly. Just keep moving them around till they look pretty universal on all sides. You can pull them off, and then we'll peel them. Alright, now that they've cooled down a little bit, you can see the skins should just slip right off of there. Which they do. Makes peeling tomatoes much easier. Then we'll just core them and chop them up. See, it's split there. Just peel it right off. Pull the core out. Chop it up. Throw it right in the pot. Alright, now the tomatoes are cored and chopped up, so we'll add the rest of the ingredients. We have our 4 cups onions, and our 14 chopped up jalapenos, seeds in. I like it spicy. And there's about 8 cloves of garlic here. And 1/4 cup of salt. And this is a 1/2 cup of cornstarch. And I'll add 1.5 cups of vinegar to it. And dump that in there. Then we'll stir it all up and we'll put it on the stove and bring it to a boil. Alright, now that we have the salsa in there coming to a boil, we're going to go ahead and get our canning jars ready. You notice that I have all the canning jars in there. They've been cleaned and checked for cracks and chips. And notice that they're completely under the water. You have to have them completely under the water. We'll go ahead and put the lids in there. I kind of try to separate them up. Separate them up so that they're easier to get out. And we'll Turn on the burner and bring them to a boil and boil them for about 10 minutes. About that time the salsa ought to be ready and the jars will be hot, and we'll just scoop them into the jars and throw them back in the canner and process them for 20 minutes. Alright, we have the canning jars boiling nicely. We need to let them go for about 10 minutes. This will help to sterilize the jars, and it melts the wax seal on the lids to make sure that they seal properly. Alright, we're getting ready to can the salsa, so what we have here is a place to set the hot pot with the salsa in it. We have a ladle to ladle the salsa out. We have our bubble eliminators and our headspace indicator. We have our jar lifter and our lid lifter, and then we have a place to set the canner with the jars in it. The jars are currently being sterilized over there, getting ready to go. And we also have a wet paper towel to wipe the edges of the jars off after we filled them to make sure that they seal properly. And we have a funnel to help get the salsa in the jars quickly before they cool down. It's best to prepare all this stuff ahead of time so you aren't running around trying to get it at the last minute. Alright, first we have the salsa all prepared. Looks good, smells good, must be good. We have the jars all ready to go, and it will be important to make sure you dump the water out and not dump it out, not back into the bucket, otherwise you end up overfilling the bucket. So it's important to remember that, because you'll be filling the jars with the salsa and not the water. Alright. Grab the jars, come up like that, take the water out, funnel, ladle, for this recipe we probably want to leave like ½ an inch of head space. Right about there. And take your handy dandy little thing and check it. So we're at actually about an inch of head space. So we'll add a little bit more. Oops, see, now that's too much. And blow out. And we need to remove the bubbles. So just kind of push this down in there and move it around a little bit to get all the bubbles out of it. We take our paper towel and wipe off around and make sure the seal is going to be good. Get our handy dandy lid lifter. Pick up a lid, put it on there like that. Grab a ring, put it on there like that, and then stick it back in the water. And you just repeat that until you're either out of jars or out of salsa, one or the other. At this point, it's better when you're preparing the jars to have a few extra, more than you expect to fill, prepared, instead of not enough. We prepared 9 jars and we filled 7, so that's about perfect. And then once you submerge the jars into the water, you should have some extra water around just in case you don't have enough. The jars should be completely submerged in the water, and you don't start counting until counting the 20 minutes for processing until the water starts boiling. Alright, the salsa's been processing for 20 minutes, and at this point we're pulling them out so they can cool. And right now the lids should be in a convex position, And as they cool down, they'll suck in and go to a concave position, which will let you know that the seals are good. Seven quarts, that ought to get us through the winter. Look how beautiful those are. They've been popping and snapping. That means the seals are good. I'm sure we will thoroughly enjoy this salsa through the winter.